what I'm doing here is I'm actually securing the wiring here to the beam up here with a little cable tie. Not a cable tie, it's actually a staple that goes around the wire. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have to connect the wiring for the electrical fan to a junction box which has power, but I did turn off the fuse, and now what I use is a non-contact voltage tester. I'm going to test the wires coming into the box. I don't think there's any power. It should be beeping if there's power. There is no power coming into this box. Notice how many wires are there bundled together, and I'm going to have to get this, take some pictures and make sure I reconnect it back right. But I'm going to have to disconnect the wires and then put a new junction box there, because this junction box is too small for all the wires in there. They should have put a bigger junction box, and plus I'll have an extra wire coming into there to begin with. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take some pictures and dismantle the wires there, and then plan on putting a new junction box in its place. So to make this easier to track, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put masking tape around each one of the wires and label it A, B, C. All the wires labeled A go together, all the wires labeled B go together, and so on. That way, when I put them back together, I'll know which wires go with which screw covers. You can actually see some of the masking tape I put on the wires. I'm actually taking them apart. It takes a bit of time, which is one of the reasons why I'm not recording it. You just have to follow, tag the wires, remove the wire nuts, and then take them apart. So my goal, I'll start. This is my new electrical box I'm going to use to put in the place of the old one. This is plastic, so one of the advantages of using plastic is you don't have to ground the box because it's already insulated. You just have to connect the ground wires together in it. So the other thing I did is, on this box I kind of drilled 2 holes, one here and one here, and I'm going to have to mark them up there in the location, and also drill holes for the screws to go into on the wood, on the joist that's running across. That's what I'm going to do next. So one thing to note before you put this box up, you see these little slots here. This is where the wires come in through, over here and here, and also on this side. So you need to make sure that your wires, when you position this, the wires can make it easily into the box. If you don't do it right, you're going to have a lot of trouble getting it in, and you have to then reposition it, which will be more work. So this box is deeper, so there's more space in it to push the wires in. That's the main reason why I'm switching it out, because now I'll have 2 sets of wires, actually 5 sets of wires coming into this box, and that's the reason why I need a bigger box. Before you mount the box on the beam, on the joist, you want to make sure you can push all the wiring in first. If you don't do that, it's going to be almost impossible to get the wiring in there. So I put the box with the wires, I brought the wires in, I mounted the box, and I brought, you see that yellow cable on the bottom there, coming in from the bottom of the box? That's the one going to the fan. I pulled that in. Now I have to strip the wires, strip the insulation, strip the wires, and then join them together. So there are some wires here. The neutral wires I have identified with a red cover. I'm going to replace this one especially because this is the one I actually want to This is all grounded wires. I want to replace it with the green cap. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this off and replace it with the green cap. So you're going to bring them together. This sometimes takes time to do. If someone were to pull this box apart, they know this is all round because it's green, and that's really nice. So we're going to put some tape on that too. You don't want the ground wires coming apart. This one's a yellow wire, but it's connecting two black wires. So one thing I'm going to do there is I'm going to put some tape around it. So I'm going to use black. So again, I put black tape, but I put it just for safety reasons. I think that's good. You can push that back into the box. And now for this one here, I'm going to leave this. These are all the neutral wires coming together. The one thing about neutral wires is you want to put some tape over it. I'm going to put some white tape around it. And once you're sure this is secured, you push it back into the box. This one's going to stay the same. I'm going to add some electrical tape on this one. Just want to make sure nothing's coming apart. You'll notice there's one white wire going into this connection here. Anytime you have a white wire going into connecting up with black wires and it's designated as hot, you want to make sure there's a tape around it. I turned on the fuse that powers the lights, so I see that the lights are all on. And one of the things I'm going to do for the fan is to see if the fan's working. I go over to this switch and I turn it on. Okay, the fan's not working, and the reason the fan's not working is because the humidistat is turned off. So I turn this on, and I turn it to a little bit. You see the fan's now working. See the fan's working? Now I'm going to go outside and do the same thing, check out if it's working outside. So it looks like it's working outside too. You can actually hear the fan going outside. So one of the things we want to do before we do anything more at the switch box where all the wires are connected, I'm going to test all the lights and then turn them on and off and see. So there's these lights up here, and that's the light that you see up there, and I'm turning everything on and seeing if the fan's running okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the switch on and off and listen and see if there's an issue with the fan. Okay, it seems okay. Okay, I don't see any issues there. The fan seems to be running okay. Turn them on and off a few times. And it looks like the fan's running fine, no issues. Now we can test this one more time. So this actually controls the humidity in the garage. So I'm going to turn this off to off, and it turns the fan off. And I'm going to keep it on and then turn the switch off, and that turned the fan off too. So now we can go ahead and close this switch box since we're done with this. And to do that, I have to turn off the power again.